Hi all and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all doing okay. Right, I don't know about you, but for me, I really did quite enjoy the qualifying, and I really did enjoy the race too. I thought it was quite an interesting weekend overall, so I've got a few things to bring you from that. So with that, I'm going to start off with George Russell, because he feels the Canadian Grand Prix was a missed opportunity for Mercedes to end their wait for a race win. Mercedes have not won a race since Russell took the checkered flag at the Brazilian Grand Prix 2 years ago. Russell said, "It feels like a missed opportunity, to be honest. We were really quick at the beginning of the race on the inters, and then obviously Lando came through really fast. Then we got back onto the slicks, made a couple of mistakes out there just pushing the limits, and paid the price for it. Nevertheless, first podium of the year, and we truly had a really fast car this weekend, and to be back in the mix fighting for victory was really fun." Now I think, probably not just me, but clearly George's biggest mistake of the weekend was the lunge on Oscar Piastri. Why he didn't just wait and bide his time, I think there was enough laps left for him to be able to do that with DRS, but then again, I suppose with the changeable conditions, you never know if the DRS is going to be disabled and the rain is going to turn up. So I do kind of understand it, but I think he should have just bided his time a little bit. Then I want to move on to Lewis Hamilton, because he's added to the speculation about his qualifying performances after the Canadian Grand Prix. Hamilton previously hinted at favouritism towards George Russell and made a similar suggestion after finishing fourth in Montreal. He said, "Some of the things came into it yesterday, but mostly myself. And then today, one of the worst races I have ever driven. Just lots of mistakes, but obviously, if I had qualified better, I would have been in a better position. It is what it is." Now, since these comments have been made, from what I can make out, a lot of the fans are now claiming that Mercedes have sabotaged Hamilton's car. And I don't understand it. I don't think they would do anything like that. Even up until the final few laps, they were free to race. It's just what it is, and I'm genuinely starting to think that Lewis's head is at Ferrari, and after their strategy call with the slick tyres and then having to go back to the inters, I think I would be thinking a lot about Ferrari and their strategy as well at the moment, but I just don't think Mercedes are up for that sort of stuff. Then I want to move on to Sergio Perez, because he's been given a 3-place grid penalty for the Spanish Grand Prix after driving back to the pits with major damage to his car. Perez made it back to the garage with his rear wing hanging off after spinning into the wall at turn 6. Red Bull have also been fined €20,000 as a result of the incident. Stewards heard from driver and team before deciding there had been a breach of Article 2610 of the sporting regulations. The rule states if a driver has serious mechanical difficulties, he must leave the track as soon as it is safe to do so, which of course he didn't do. Then Helmut Marko has insisted that the car is not to blame for Sergio Perez's recent struggles, instead blaming it on a psychological issue. Marko told Service TV, "It's not the car, you can see that with Max. I think it's more psychological. When the conditions change, he finds it much more difficult, but the fact that it's already the third time is painful." But when you combine all that, I mean, yeah, they say about the third time and it being painful, I get that. But Red Bull have just messed Perez's race up for Spain, because told the stewards that they had advised Perez to bring the car back to the pits as they were trying to avoid a safety car. Now, if Perez is struggling at the moment, which all the signs point to that he is, if he has a bad qualifying in Spain, he's now got a further 3-place grid drop on top of that. So the team must have known that they were risking it, but they've not helped him at all there, but we'll see what happens. Then I want to move on to Lando Norris, because he believes he would have won the Canadian Grand Prix if McLaren had pitted him before the safety car was first deployed. Speaking after the race, he said, "We should have won the race today, and we didn't, so it's frustrating. We had the pace, probably not in the dry at the end, but it turned out it didn't really matter too much. But we should have won today. Simple as that. We didn't do a good enough job as a team to box when we should have done and not get stuck behind the safety car." And I think Martin Brundle did call it at the time in the commentary that they should have brought him in, but I think the team probably said to him, do the opposite of what Max does, and that doesn't pay off sometimes, does it? Then I want to move on to Carlos Sainz, because he's convinced that Ferrari's poor performance at the Canadian Grand Prix was a one-off. Sainz said, It was not an ideal weekend for anyone in the team, but we will try and reset and go again. It is clear that we were not on the right end of the pace and were struggling as a team. In any condition, we seem to be struggling with the balance and the pace, but it's going to be a one-off, and we will be back in Barcelona where we are normally pretty strong. And I think it is believed that he's going to make his mind up on where he's going next and announce it at the Spanish Grand Prix. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. And just to mention, I said about Leclerc's pit stop and their strategy, I understand he had a problem with the car and there wasn't much to lose, but then they did fix it in that pit stop after putting the slicks on. Maybe they thought when the track was drying, if he was on slicks, he might have a better advantage, and that would equal out his lack of pace or his straight line speed enough to bring him back into the game a little bit. I don't know what their idea was behind that, but Ferrari's strategy team, I don't know. They keep messing things up, don't they? But anyway, that's all I got for you this evening. Thank you so much indeed again for your comments, your likes and your shares. Honestly, it really and truly does mean a lot to me, and thank you so much indeed for that. And of course, if you do like what I do, please consider pressing the like button, also press the subscribe button, and also press the notification bell so you get those all important future warnings of my uploads. And as always, until the next time, take care.